we are the infrastructure that's required for pricing of what would be considered illiquids in traditional asset classes. So we price NFTs. We do that using AI, and that's a pretty fundamental building block to any industry. So what we're doing, the price of an asset in a market is foundational to anything you want to do with it, whether you're lending, borrowing, insuring, or just buying and selling. And with something that's non-fungible or an NFT, for example, there's no spot price. So you have to do what comes down to market comparables. And now that we have access to AI and wonderful data feeds, we can do that in fairly real time. Takes a lot of infrastructure to do that. And for those reasons, that's why we founded this company. So I'm just going to put one heresy out there, which is I'm going to share a slide because it just sort of frames where we exist. And I'm not going to talk too much about this slide because I want to get into throw it over to Mark. But the infrastructure between all of the blockchains, whether they're layer 1, layer 2, or cross-chain, all of these things, the ability to access that data is one thing. The ability to make sense of it and come out with usable, actionable market information is something very different and takes a lot of sophisticated technology to be able to deliver analytics on top of that. So we're a layer that lays between blockchains, the markets themselves that settle on those blockchains, and then also the industries and verticals and platforms, that are building out these ecosystems. So whether that's in gaming or sports or into trade finance and debt and lending and accounting, we're that layer between the two. So we provide sort of high-level analytics, high-order analytics, I should say. So things like fair market value and any other sort of fairly straightforward market metrics. And to show you what that all looks like, I'm going to toss it over to Mark, and I'm going to dive into the chat box. Mark, take it away.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Lane. So I'm Mark. I'm the CTO at Nval. I'm a back-end developer, and so I'm going to provide a presentation that a back-end developer would. So we primarily provide a REST API for our B2B customers who then build applications on top of it. And today I'm going to show a couple of the different applications that we've built utilizing our own API, so you can sort of see it in action. But also I'm going to show it actually working directly, so that you can see the data coming back. That we're not it's not just smoke and mirrors; it's actual data coming back from systems. So I'm showing right now our documentation website. We just use Open API standard to be able to document our API. So customers, people who have a API key and secret can come in and utilize this user interface to be able to test out the API. So I can go in and try it out if I want to. So I need to have in a network, so such as Ethereum, a collection ID, and an NFT ID. And I can go and then click send, and it will go, oh, first I have to request a token and then resend. There we go. So now I have some data, expand all that out. So here we have, for this particular, this is a doodle, by the way. We'll take a look at it in a minute because nobody likes to see just text data. And we've given it a price of 3.3 ETH and a confidence of 96%. So we feel pretty confident that we know the price of this particular doodle. So let's go take a look at the doodle itself. So just going to OpenSea, you can search on OpenSea and you can find this little guy, currently listed at 4.2 ETH. Okay, so we've said it's a little bit less than that. You can go look at the offers. You can see a lot of people are offering 2.8. Well, we predicted a little bit more. We think it's more valuable than what everyone else is currently offering, which is probably why there's no sales on it. And this particular doodle has had one sale in its lifetime. which happened, funnily enough, a day ago, which is purely by coincidence because I picked this doodle a few days ago to to demo. So I don't know why it had a sale, but it did. So someone bought it for 3 ETH, and we actually think it's more valuable. So we think it's gone up by 10%. So we think this person's made a deal. So so we have our REST API. So the other tools that we have that we've built on top of that are our Chrome extension. So I can come to OpenSea. I can click on my desktop here in Chrome, and it'll go back to our API, and it'll go and say, what is the price of this NFT? You can see that's 3.3 ETH. I can click on Insights, and it comes to our web app, which gives us a bit more feature-rich data. The market price, the current listed price, the floor price, right? We think it's pretty much smack dab between the floor price and the listed price. And also we can see the price history. So this, I don't know if everybody follows doodles. I've owned a doodle in the past, so I'm quite involved in the community. So there was a time that it just took off. So price history, and then over time, as sort of NFTs have become less sexy, the price has gone down. You can see here that this is the price prediction, and then the red dot is the actual price. So we're able to show this data. Our people utilizing our API can take a look at that data. All right. So other parts. So we have a few other parts of our API as well. So like I said, we have price history. So I can again go and look at that in our through the doc website. For those of you who might utilize APIs on a regular basis, you might be familiar with Postman. So I've set up Postman here. You can import in our Open API spec into Postman, and it will allow you to very easily go and with our API key and secret, go and get the authorization token, and then be able to utilize the API. So again, I'm using the same. This is the Doodle contract address, so number 34. So I'm using the same Doodle that I had before. And in this case here, I'm just passing in the start date, end date being the last year. I'm looking for basically I want the price of this particular NFT every week for the last year. So I can go and run that. Oop, again, so reauthorize. Here we go. And try. There we go. So I'm gonna, because nobody can actually see that, I'm gonna reformat that in a much easier to view JSON schema viewer. So here's all the data that we have. So we have the price of this particular NFT over a long period of time. So for the last year, with a price every week. And so we can provide this API, we can provide that at a daily granularity if someone wants to know the price of this NFT every day or since the dawn of time. But we can go through that. And so there are, as you can see, there's 52 data points in there because it was every week for the last year. One other component of our API is what we call feature importance. So we utilize attributes, both market factors and the traits of the NFTs themselves in order to create a price. And so each one of those features can have a different impact upon the price themselves. So I'll go one step deeper into being a backend engineer and actually show you a terminal screen. And so we also have a CLI tool, command line interface tool that we utilize our API as well. And so I can run the command on the same NFT that we had before, number 34, and it can go through, and this time it will show us the price prediction and the most importantly, and for this part, the feature importance. So for this doodle that we have, we can see that the market action is the driving force. 96% of the factors that go into pricing the price are from the market action, and very little from the trades. So mostly people are buying this because it's a doodle and it has some market-based action on it, and that's why they're buying it. People aren't obviously what the doodle looks like, people aren't as interested in as the price itself. Now, I want to compare that to a CryptoPunk. So this is a CryptoPunk, which is funnily enough owned by a friend of mine. He managed to pick it up a long time ago when punks were, before NFTs were cool and punks were not expensive. And so, you know, again, it's a standard punk. What I want to do this time is I want to use that in our price prediction engine. So again, I'll use the command line interface, the wrong thing, and get the price for that. But most importantly, what I want to show is that this particular NFT is not dominated completely by the market price, that actually the traits have quite a bit of input into it as well. So in this case here, 72% of the price is derived from the market action, but almost 30%, and most importantly, the accessory that particular punk has drives the price of it. So accessories are quite important in this world as well, so that we're able to see that there's different factors in there, and so that can be utilized by traders in order to be able to understand why we're pricing the NFTs at the price that we've given them. And then finally, one last thing, so we can take feature importance now. Again, because this is just data, and we can take that data and we can put it into a graphing package. In this case, I've just used Google Sheets because it's very easy to select a number of cells and be able to create a pie chart. So I've just graphed the market action and the traits, and then looked at each individual trait themselves and realized that the majority of this is the 1-day window. So the price over the last day is what really affects the price of tokens inside this collection. And this, of course, differs from CryptoPunks, which again, the traits are much more, not much more, but are certainly significant in the price of the NFT itself. And so we can look here, we can see that the 2-day window is quite important, but the accessories are almost as important, right? Where you have 35% for the 2-day window and 27%. So they're almost balanced in there in how we actually go ahead and price this particular NFT. That's our backend and our API.